Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's 126-24, almost the end of another month. Today's a Friday, and I like to give you something to think about on a Friday, just in case if I'm unable to put a video out this weekend. Which, of course, once again, it'll be cloudy. I think we might get lucky, though, on Saturday. Maybe I can bring the old camera out and check out some stars for you. You know those fake lights up there? Yeah. The ones that are in the books that are round and shiny and have these amazing things on them. Well, they don't look like that when you look at it through a camera, okay? They're not stars. These things are probably, I don't know. All right, it is Think About It Friday. So I want you to think about it. I've been hearing this on the internet, and I think you should, or everyone should think about it. You know, what happens if this is how the stars are? This is how we see the stars, okay? Have you ever been to the Hayden Planetarium in New York City? No, I bet you haven't. But have you ever been to a planetarium, period? Okay? All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to picture our flat ground, our flat land, what we live on here, okay? There's a middle, there's edges around this flat land, and there are continents in there. And then that would be the continents that we know of different countries. Okay. Now in the middle, well, hold on. Well, okay, yeah. In the middle of a planetarium, there is a projection. Have you seen it before? It's kind of neat. I don't know if you've ever seen one like close up. If you go to a planetarium and you actually get that front row seat right there, well, it's gigantic. It's this big black thing with all these little reflective lenses on it. It's really cool. You should check it out one day if you ever make it out there. I don't know if those planetariums are around anymore. We still have a couple here. I showed you one that's right off the Hudson River right there. And I have a plan for that too, but hold on. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Anyway, so in that planetarium, you have this tower that's a projection that projects all these lights up in the sky or up on the dome. Okay? Anything you want. You could have planets up there, you could have comets, but they can't come up with one thing, and that's the sun. They can't do that, okay, because it requires too much light. So, but they'll do all the stars, they'll do all the planets, and it'll make you feel like you're at home, because you are. That's exactly what you're in. Now, I want you to take a look at our flat land, okay? Now, in the middle of our flat land, we have something called Little Fairy Tale. This is where Santa Claus lives, the North Pole. That's right. You know Santa Claus? He comes out and gives gifts to all the children, and you might get one too. Yes, that's what we were brought up to believe. Little fairy tales. I'm Tooth Fairy. Anyway, getting ahead of myself again. So we have what is called in the North Pole a mountain called the Black Rock. It's the tallest mountain around. That's right. That's how the compass works. It's magnetic. And that's what creates our compass to point north. And that's why when you're in the south and you go into Alaska, and when you go into Antarctica, the compass no longer works. You're out of range. It's as simple as that. It's just like a cell phone. You walk an hour away into the mountains, in the woods, you're out of range. You get no signal. And that's exactly how this works too. On a flat land, with the North Pole right in the middle, a projection, the Black Rock, emitting all these amazing, spectacular lights. Now, the problem is, where exactly are these lights going? Okay. Now, have you ever been outside on a cloudy day, cloudy night, shall we say? Can you see the stars? No, you can't. You can see the sun, though, if it's not that thick. I like it when you can see. You know, I've done videos of that before. So you can't see the stars. What exactly are they emitting off of? I don't think it's the dome, okay? I think there's a plasma up there that's projecting these stars, all right? And that's what the Bible says, water above, okay? And that's where you get these flickering lights, these frequencies that you see with the stars. They're probably only 70 miles up there, maybe 80 miles up there, okay? That's all. That's my belief. And that's why you get these flickering stars. or lights. Amazing light show is what I like to call it. What I would like to do is I would like to go down to the planetarium, maybe rent it out. The whole thing, just rent it out. You could have a flat Earth meetup there. I don't know if they'd allow that though. Show you some experiments in there if it's possible, but I don't know if they can actually do that. But anyway, so I want you to think about that over the weekend, because it's perfect. It's exactly like the planetarium. Now, what's surrounding us is an ice wall. That's been proven too. Hundreds of feet high. Okay? All right? That's what contains all the water in this flat land. Okay? There's no disk in space. None of us believe there's a disk in space. There is no space. Don't you understand that? None. No space at all. Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and it sucks. Sorry, guys. It sucks. Anyway, that's my belief. And with the sun and the moon, okay? Now, the sun also could be projecting off of this plasma, or it could be in the dome. I'm not sure. All I know is when you zoom in on a solar eclipse, you see another sun over here. And some people believe that's the real sun that's on the side right there. And what you're seeing up here is just a blob being reflected off of it. And it would make sense. Okay, it really would. It would make sense why it would project all these little shadows. There's hundreds of them. I've spoken about that before. And I'm going to try to recreate that in my kitchen, if it's possible. I'm not sure how, but I'll come up with some ideas and see if I can recreate what we see up in the sky during an eclipse. Because I never knew that. I wish I did. Damn, I wish I did. Anyway. Now I want you to think about the plausible possibility of beyond flat Earth. Okay? I want you to think about the mountains. The mountains that you see every day. Okay? I want you to think about this. Sometimes you're driving on the highway and you see those layers. Sometimes they're straight, sometimes they're wavy like that. Now the scientists want you to believe that that's millions of years of soot and whatever, and then they could date it all the way back to when the meteor that killed all the dinosaurs. This is 65 million years ago. That's 10 million years ago. That's bullshit. Okay? These are layers that trees make. That's why you see these squiggly lines. What do you think created that? Would the rock melt? It's a petrified freaking tree trunk, for crying out loud. Just look at it. Look at it with your eyes. Okay, you can't do that on the highway, of course. I wouldn't pull over on a highway because cars are going 100 miles per hour. You might get killed. I would suggest you go up to a rock anywhere around and just look at that rock wall. Study it. Look at it. Look at the layers on there. Okay? All right? It's very simple to say that this is created with soot and grime over millions of years. But it's not true. Okay? And now compare it to a tree trunk. Take a look at that. Look at Devil's Tower. There must be roots. And I had no idea that trees had these root systems that would go on for hundreds of feet. On a regular tree that's only about 50, 75 feet, tall. You're talking hundreds of feet of roots that are embedded in the ground. Okay? Now, could you imagine what's underneath Devil's Tower? Hundreds. There'd be a hell of a lot more than that. And it would be easy to prove, and that would be just to dig it up. Dig up and find out these little tunnels, or roots. This root system that's underneath Devil's Tower. That's also petrified, I'm sure, too. Or maybe it isn't. Just like that scientist found a dinosaur remnant or a bone. Well, dinosaurs aren't true, but I mean, he found something. He found like a bone from whenever. They carbon dated it 65 million years, but the tissue was soft. Okay, see, everything, we live under pressure here. Okay, and the only way you could have pressure is with a container. That's a fact. Okay, so if we have pressure here, the only way we can have pressure is it being contained. That's it. Bottom line. Sorry, you're in a container. You're on a flat level ground, in a container, in a dome, and you're stationary. You're not moving. Everything else up there is moving. Okay? And when you look over here, that's why they see the stars opposite from us. And then when you look over here, I see it opposite from them. Okay? It's very simple. Very simple. The Creator, God, He or she, whoever it may be, made it very simple for you to understand. But we've been inbred all of our lives with a globe in front of us, and Star Trek and Star Wars and all these fucking movies that are out there, and all of Hollywood putting a globe right anywhere that they want in every show that you love. It's reconditioning, to recondition your thought process of thinking that you live on a spinning wet ball, but you don't. You don't. You live on a flat land. People have to get out of this zombiness that they're in, this trance, they just don't want to. I don't know why. I really don't. Even if you've went to school and you got all these major master's degrees and majoring in this and that, and you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change anything. Okay? And we didn't create this. God created it. Okay, now the plausible possibility of beyond flat Earth is something that's also brought up in life itself, in you, in everything around us, being a digital world. Okay? And that's true. I'm a big believer in that. It's too perfect, I mean, the seasons come exactly when they should. The birds go down to the south exactly when they should, A cut heals up exactly the way it should on your body. I think this is what God wanted to... Maybe he or she, whoever maybe, wanted us down here for a reason. The people that are woken up, obviously. The other people, I don't know who they are anymore. I really don't. I really don't know who they are. All I know is if I go to another funeral, I'm going to go nuts. Because I'm going to go crazy while I'm in there saying, I know why this happened. Don't give me this shit. Okay, all right. That's why I've been busy for the last couple of weeks. I can't get into it. That's personal shit. So, anyway. I've lost my train of thought. It sucks. Oh, okay. How perfect everything is. Okay. All right. See, programming something like that would be very easy. We already have The Sims, all these games that we have out there. It's the same thing. It's exactly what we live in, but just on a different scale. On a scale that is just unbelievable. You ever understand, look at this flock of birds. If I count that flock of birds, I guarantee you the number is going to be odd. I always see that. 7 birds flying. I never really see 6 or 4. I always see an odd number, 5 or something like that. But I mean, it's just so perfect. I mean, the animals in the ocean, just name it. Name it. Name it. It is just absolutely perfect. Too perfect. But meanwhile, they want you to believe you live in this chaotic, world that's going to be exploding, and meteors are coming down, and you're flying through space at unimaginable speeds. You're going 1.3 million miles per hour, chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. And spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and all this other bullshit. It's all nonsense. It's all garbage. Anyway, I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.